Alright, welcome back to another trade recap, and today I lost, as you can see. Uh, where'd it go? Did I close out of it? Open new window. Alright, let's move that here. Alright, so as you can see, my PNL is red. It was only like 1 hour though, and yeah, I'll get into it right now. So, first trade of the day was this on NQ. This little short. It was off open right here. So basically we were in like this 15-minute gap. I guess it wasn't really the greatest trade, honestly. Um, but just because this gap isn't too, you know. So we were in this 15-minute gap. Pre-market, we came down, pushed up, market open, manipulation. Swept out, stayed respecting the gap, and then had a change right here, and then I entered when it retapped the change, but it just completely blew straight through my TP. And I think this is because since it was 8:30 news day, 8:30 wherever it is, where's 8:30? 8:30 right here is manipulation. If it even was. I don't know, but then 9:30 is usually continuation. So, I mean, it wasn't a bad trade. Um yeah, honestly, it was a fine trade. Maybe I'll learn some things in the future that'll make me think this is a bad trade, but for now I think it's a fine trade. So, after that, my second trade was on ES, and it was after price had dropped down into this 15-minute gap after the big pump, and I was gonna try to ride it out from continuation. So price dropped down into the 15-minute gap, pumped all the way back up, had a change right there, kind of I don't know, um, chopped around. I don't know why it took me so long to think of that word. Chopped around for a bit, pumped back up, and I went break even when NQ took out this high, like creating SMT. And this candle was pretty crazy, super volatile. So I went break even when NQ took out this high. And I ended up getting stopped at break even. So yeah, actually, it wasn't that. Okay, let me get into executions. So this one was straightforward on NQ. Those are my only executions of the day. Just loss. And then ES is where it gets a little bit tricky. Right here, I was looking for a trade. At this, I thought it changed state and delivery, but it didn't. So as you can see, I literally entered, bought 4, and then closed it literally 2 points down. So I lost a little bit, unfortunately, on that. And then there is some extra executions. This is when I bought. Right there. This is when I sold. And then right after I sold, I sold. Okay, I didn't go break even because I wanted to see if it would like dip down, respect this gap, then come back up. But when it like inverse this gap, I closed around here, like right here for a little bit of loss, and then I decided to enter, and then I like immediately like look, it's 13.25, 13.25. This like second I entered, I was like, this is stupid, and then I closed, thankfully, because we dumped. But yeah, overall, I could have been a much better day. This trade almost triggered, or this could have been a good trade if it would have came up and tapped this 15-minute and then had this 1 minute change and then just straight dump. So that would have been a good trade, but it didn't tap it, and it was still respecting the 1 hour on NQ like this, but the 5-minute change happened there, and this candle was already done. So yeah, that's the day. And to NFP week, it was, I think, around a break-even week. I don't want to look, obviously, because I'm just going to follow my rules and see what happens. So I'm not going to look. I'll look at probably the end of the month. But I would say around break-even, maybe probably a bit of a losing week after today, because I don't really know how much I lost on these closes, but I don't know. But next week, we have no news Monday, no news Tuesday, CPI, CPI, PPI week, and all right. So I'm fine with next week. Next week looks good, news wise. So yeah, that's it for today. I'll back test later, and yeah, that's it for this week.